Nobody saw it coming. The Shen family's little prince ignored every treasure on that table and grabbed onto John Lingxian instead, leaving everyone's jaw on the floor. But Grandpa Shen looked at me with a serious expression and asked, "Do you actually like her?" I nodded so hard my whole head was bouncing, and my sisters' faces went dark instantly. They looked like they wanted to tear John Lingxian apart, but Grandpa Shen just burst out laughing, his gaze settling on John Lingxian. This actually reminds me of something from a long time ago. As it turned out, the Shen and John families went way back and had made a promise long ago. If each family had one son and one daughter, they would unite the two families through marriage. But John's mother had passed away during childbirth, and the Shen family had 5 daughters in a row. So the whole thing had been left on the back burner, but now that Grandpa Shen brought it up, Grandma Shen looked at John Lingxian, who she had watched grow up and liked her more the longer she looked. My sister's heart shattered on the spot, especially Shen Shimeng. She was absolutely sick with regret. This was like inviting the wolf right through the front door. Just then, Grandpa Shen spoke up. "Little John, what do you think? Would you be willing to be Bufan's bride?" Before Jan Lingxian could even answer, a sharp voice cut through the room. No, everyone turned toward the sound, and there was Gay Yan clutching the hem of his shirt, visibly uneasy. And the moment he realized every eye in the room was on him, he shrank like a startled deer and quickly moved closer to John Lingxian. The helpless and anxious look on his face would have made anyone's heart ache. Watching this little performance made every alarm in my head go off. Oh, give me a break. This kid was already working the soft, harmless act at his age, playing the innocent card to perfection. I'm the one looking for a future bride here, and you jump in with a no. Who asked for your opinion? Unfortunately, I was still just a baby, and all I could do was babble in protest. Just as my engagement to John Lingxian was about to be settled, he finally couldn't hold it together. Goyan worked up the courage to say they couldn't get engaged because he was John Lingxian's boyfriend. The whole room erupted in gasps and chatter. Sure, it was a bit young to be dating, but you had to admit, standing next to each other, they really did look like the perfect pair. As cute as I looked, waving my little fists around, it didn't change the fact that I was still just a baby. Just from the looks on everyone's faces, I already knew exactly what they were thinking, and I was not having it. What kind of look is that? So what if John Lingxian is about 10 years older than me? That's not a big deal. Mentally speaking, she should be grateful I'm not the one complaining about the age gap. Yan hid the smugness in his eyes and crouched down to pinch my chubby cheeks, then said cheerfully to Grandpa Shen, "Grandpa Shen, this little baby doesn't know what he's doing. Please don't go playing matchmaker like this." And as he said it, he shot me this provocative smirk, his expression basically saying, what could a little baby possibly do against him? I glared at that fake smile of his and felt my teeth itching with irritation. Who says I don't know what's going on? Just as Gayan was about to say more, I picked my moment and bit down hard. Gayan let out a yelp and yanked his arm away, leaving a fresh set of tiny teeth marks clearly printed on his skin. I was obviously the smaller and more vulnerable one here, but right now I had all the energy, baring my teeth with everything I had, looking like an angry, fluffed-up kitten. Jan Lingxian hadn't expected this tiny kid's personality to actually appeal to her. She quietly glanced at Gayan. This guy had been trailing after her since they were kids. His feelings for her were obvious to anyone with eyes. But she wasn't about to reject the Shen family's engagement proposal just to play into Gay Yan's hands. And admit she was in a relationship with him, she had zero interest in dating anyone right now. Jan Lingxian had been quiet for a while and Gay Yan was getting anxious. The panic was showing on his face, but the sharp-eyed Grandma Shen beside them looked between the two of them and sensed something was off. Little John, is what he said true? How come you never once mentioned this to me? Jan Lingxian instinctively glanced over at me and caught me glaring at her with my teeth bared. My whole attitude screaming, say yes and I'll make you regret it. Something tickled lightly inside her chest. And then Jan Lingxian's cool voice came out slowly and clearly. He and I have absolutely nothing going on. The color drained from Gay Yan's face instantly, his eyes going red, tears pooling in his eyes, teeth pressed hard enough into his lip to leave a mark. And I was over here practically dancing with joy, giggling away. Honestly, I felt like setting off fireworks to celebrate. That's what you get for playing games. That's what you get for trying to steal my future wife. Shot down in front of everyone. What is wrong with boys these days claiming to be in a relationship with someone? And a romantic one at that. Who knew the young G heir had this much calculated scheming going on? So much ambition at such a young age, and he nearly torpedoed a perfectly good match. The Shen and John families go way back. What would happen if this caused a rift between them? Every single word of that landed straight in Gay Yan's ears, along with the stares from every guest in the room. Gay Yan felt like everyone's eyes were burning holes into his back, and he wished the ground would open up and swallow him whole.